begin with is how and whether you need props to give yourself a support that you can sit on, which allows you so that you can sit upright. Like Elizabeth, you're sitting super upright. For her and for me too, sitting up on a couple of blocks or a bolster and a blanket or a bunch of things, this kind of height allows me to sit this way where I don't compress my knee. For some people, this degree of flexion is truly not comfortable. You might instead say, I actually prefer no height. And maybe I sit in stuffed animal position. They usually have this sort of triangular little bum. Hey, Lisa, welcome. And their legs usually stick out at an angle, right? They have this sort of triangular base. So taking a minute to check for yourself what works, sitting in crossed legs for some is just absolutely the most relaxing because you've been doing it for 30 years and that's what equals ease for you. But maybe the knee bugs you today, so you put a block under that knee. So take a moment to curate your sit and see where you need to be. The last one I like to emphasize, and you've heard me say this before, is that if you're sitting up on some height, it can help to grab your buttock flesh and kind of poof it up behind you and roll your buttock bones over the front edge of the thing, bolster or block. So you're like a chicken kind of fluffing your chicken buns up and over while you drape over Dali-esque the front of your thing, right? So my buttock bones are actually sliding off the block, and that rotates my pelvis to a slightly more natural position. So you may find it weirdly helpful to bring yourself so you're kind of half on, half off. That allows your natural curve in your spine to find its way. Hi there, Robin. Welcome. Come on in. Let's see. Maybe if you guys could scooch. Yep, one more. No worries. No. Don't ever worry about it. I'm always late, so nobody gets to feel uncomfortable if they're a little bit late. No big deal. Also, if you forget to turn off your cell phone, I almost always forget to turn off my cell phone. We try, but we do the best we can. Now, the question is when you're sitting, if you either close your eyes or gaze down your nose, can you take a moment without fixing yourself to feel where you are in space? Can you feel where your body meets the mat, the floor, the prop? And can you feel where your shoulders are compared to your hips, where your head and neck and shoulders are compared to your hips, and whether your head is a little bit forward of your spinal column, a little bit back, or maybe balanced right above. And as you breathe in, fill up your lungs, let your fingertips slowly tent out to the sides, lightly touching, creating a triangle or tree shape with your arms. And as you breathe slowly, let the arms float up. For some, it'll help to turn the palms to face the ceiling and bring your arms in front of you, changing the angle at the shoulder joint. For others, the arms can pretty much take any route to vertical that you try without strain. So we reach up and then float the arms back down through, again, the pathway that works for you. Oftentimes coming down is easier than going up, even if you have a rotator cuff issue. So here's my rotator cuff version. I sweep the arms forward and up, kind of an exaggerated long reach, and then I can come straight back down the same way, palms facing up, or I can come down from the sides. Let's do two more with your own particular route that you choose. How high can you lift? Can your ribs lift up out of your pelvis? Keep the height through the spine before lowering down. And we'll do one more at your favorite pace. Inhaling, filling up, breathing, reaching. And lower down, relax your shoulders. Let your hands come to a comfortable resting position and slide your elbows back under your shoulders and gently rock side to side just a little bit to ease through the torso. Now we'll go into torso circles, and truthfully, I'm a little too slidey off my block to do this, so I'm going to shift a little bit. Hands on hips can be helpful for reference because sometimes it's hard to feel where your upper torso is compared to your lower. So it's as if you're inside a barrel and you're trying to swoosh yourself against the entirety of the inside of a barrel. So the chest goes forward and then gently, slightly concave, but not aggressively. Yeah. The pelvis tips and tucks. And then pause and go the opposite way. Round you go. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Finding a roughly equal number to this second direction, and then pause in the middle, and let's take shoulder rolls, forward, up and back and down, forward, up and back and down. Now for some, elbows lifting can help you feel like it gets easier, and for others, this is harder. So try both and see which one feels better in your body. Some days I like one, some days I like the other, some days both are fine. Yeah, slow it down and do two more in a super slow, some might even say torturous way. Yeah, big breath in, full breath out. Ah, then take your right arm and gently shake it out. We did the hokey pokey at the library in Missoula, just saying. It was very fun. You put your mitten in, you put your mitten out. All right, roll the shoulders. And then we take the right arm out. And my grandson, Webby, was like, the whole time. He was so cute. And then his father came in and goes, Daddy! Right across the room. And everybody in the room was like, well, I thought they were thinking how adorable Webby was. And then both are. All right. Shoulders roll. Now, last but not least, we take your right arm out, palm face up. Left arm out, palm face down. Now, any amount, see if you can turn them the opposite way. So the shoulder initiates the movement, but the arm stretches as long as it can be. So you could even look left as you drop and curl your left shoulder forward, and then look right as you drop and curl your right shoulder forward. See if you can allow this to come into the chest and the ribs as well, which means that you begin to turn to the right when you turn your right palm up and look right, to turn to the left when you turn your left palm up and look left. Spreading the fingers as much as you can. Two more times. So I'm starting to sweat. Anybody else? All right. And then slow it down, reach wide, and float the arms down. Ah, big breath into the belly and let it go. Ah, big breath into the belly and let it go. Now with your head floating like a cloud above your shoulders, take your right fingertips to the part of your skull above your left ear and tense your fingertips lightly there. Now super gently pull your right ear gently towards your right shoulder, but very softly, so that we start to lengthen the left side of the neck. Then push your head up into your fingers as you slightly pull your ear to your shoulder just a little bit more. Can you feel the lengthening and the activation of the left side of the neck? So that doesn't need to be anything extreme. In fact, the gentler, the better, but hold and breathe unless it's causing strain. If it is, you bring your head a little further back up to the ceiling. You lessen the ear to the shoulder action. Breathe into the length and the engagement there. Can you keep a gentle pressure mutually between hand and head and hand? One more breath in. And then relax and let go of the tension, just let gravity draw your right ear to your shoulder. Even if the left shoulder feels like it slightly shrugs, no problem. One more breath here in relaxation mode. Then slowly take your left hand to the left side of your skull, plant your right hand on the right side, and use your arms to super slowly bring your head back to vertical. And then once you're vertical, release your arms and slowly roll the shoulders. You may still feel it a little bit in the left side of your neck, but softly roll it out. Big breath into your belly, diaphragmatic breath here. Send your nervous system, the message that all is well. One more time, big belly breath, activating that vagus nerve. And let it go. Woo. All right, shake the hands. Then it's the left fingertips, they lightly tent to above your right ear. And you may find that this needs to be the slightest movement of your left ear towards your shoulder. For others, it'll feel like more of a bend, but no forcing. Then activate by pushing your head into your fingertips into your head, even as the spine flies up like smoke rising. Breathing as your ear goes any amount to the shoulder, but again, tune in and let it be gentle. This is not an exigent maneuver. This is a soft, what can I do to activate the right side of the neck as I lengthen without overdoing it. One more deep breath here. And then relax the ear to the shoulder any amount. Let gravity be the force, the gentle weight of the hand very lightly on the side of the head. One more breath, letting it relax. Breathe into the right side of the neck and then super gently place your right hand on the right side of your skull, left hand on the left, and lift your head back into the center. And then gently shoulder roll. Okay, really good. Now, taking your right hand to your left temple, sit up nice and tall and drop your shoulders. Eyes can be open or closed. Slowly use your hand to draw your chin to the right shoulder. There's a slight tuck of the chin to the right armpit, really. Now you can stay here, collarbone parallels the mat in front of you, so you're not turning your upper body, just your chin. And then slow stretch of your left hand and arm out to the left. Palm can face flat as if against a wall. But if that's too intense, turn your palm flat to the floor. So either extension of the wrist, which means your hand is flat and fingers spread, or straight out action of the hand facing the floor. One more deep breath in here, breathe in. Let go, exhale, and float the left arm down. Let your chin turn any amount more on the relaxation. And then super gently relax and let your arm and hand float down. Let your head slowly turn back to the center. Roll the shoulders forward, up and back. And sometimes I even take my hands to my neck here and give it a little massage, using the fingers to cross friction the muscles running alongside the neck. Yeah, rolling shoulders. Everybody doing okay? Okay, one more time. Now, fingertips of the left hand to the right temple, slow turn of the chin to the left armpit. So there's a slight tuck to the chin. Parallel your chest still to the mat edge in front of you, so we're not rotating leftward. Extend out your right arm if it works for you. You can even, if your legs are extended, you can even flex your feet for fun. So your feet are flexing, your hand is flexing. Breathing. Add a little bit of resistance if you wish, which means you push your fingertips against your temple, against the fingertips. Big breath in. And then release your right arm and draw your chin any amount to the left. Not forcing end range motion, but allowing yourself to do the twist within the context of relaxation. Then deep breath in. And slowly release your head, your hand, your arm, and roll your shoulders forward, up and back. All right, last but not least, we'll take your right arm and curving it over your head. Take a mini backstroke. Left arm curving it over your head. So these are bent elbow mini backstrokes. You might need to switch your legs if you haven't already, because very often we sit in one position and all of a sudden it feels really not good. Yeah, so backstroking at your own comfortable rate. Yeah, beautiful. All right. Then find your way into forward crawling action. Yeah, there you go. This involves a rotation of the spine. Rib cage rotates. Good. And then gently back to the center, shake out. Very good. Last but not, I did say that already. But really last but not least, we do squeeze the shoulder blades together. And without dropping the chin or dropping the head, we pull the hands to the shoulders. So that pushes the mid space between your shoulder blades behind you. Then squeeze that same spot in towards your spine, scrunching up between the shoulder blades, and then wrapping. So the head and spine stay lifted, but the arms are helping to move the shoulder blades around the rib cage and squeeze them together. Around and squeeze. One or two more. No rushing. If it feels too fast, you go slower. If it feels too slow, you go faster. Excellent. And then release. So why do that? This, with my spine long, my head lifted and moving the arms, but not doing this, means that I can stretch out the back upper body as if I'm doing cat without crunching the anterior aspect of your spine. For those of us dealing with osteoporosis, osteopenia, but mostly osteoporosis, if you have it in the spine, then this kind of thing is not indicated. So, but then you think, oh, I'll never be able to do cat again. Cat is one of my favorite poses. Yeah, but you can stay lifted and do this. The spine stays lifted, the vertical action of the torso keeping you elevated maintains the space between your anterior space of your vertebrae without precluding your movement this way. Okay, so if you're ever wondering, this is your cat cow. Okay, so I'm not sure I could. Good question. So my brain thinks I'm not doing anything with my sacrum because I'm not purposefully doing anything with my sacrum. What I am trying to do is imagine that I have a string through the top of my head, which is keeping me vertical. So in principle, my sacrum will move a little bit tilty front to back, but in practice, or in reality, it's moving a little bit, but in principle, it's relatively quiet. So I'm not trying to rock front to back. Good question. I might be, and that's okay. But in principle, I'm isolating in the upper body. Yeah, great question. Okay, so let's come on down to our backs, bringing your feet flat, your knees bent, option to add a blanket under the back of your head. So for some, it's super nice to add a little height. And you can use lots of things under your head. If you've ever practiced yoga in a hotel room or in some weird place, you probably have put your head on a lot of weird things. And we'll start with the feet out at the edges of your sticky mat and rock to the position where your feet rock up onto the heels. Your heels are so close to the edge of the mat that you can feel the wood or the space beside the mat with the outer edges of your heels, and your inner edges of your heels are on the sticky mat. Hands to the abdomen, press your low back flat. Now, for some of us, moving the knees side to side needs to be not a very big movement because it ends up overworking the inner hip and outer hip, or it doesn't feel very good. So let it be small. As you extend your arms out to the side, for those of you for whom it does feel fine to let the knees drop side to side, allow your knees to go as far, but only as far as is comfortable. Though I'd rather have you focus mostly on how flat your back is. How can you keep the lumbar spine pressing flat? When you roll to the side, if your knees do drop pretty far down, even all the way to the floor, you will, of course, be on your outer hip and your low back won't touch the mat anymore. But press it into the mat as soon as you possibly can, en route to the other side. Breathing. So it becomes a gentle abdominal strengthener, even though it's also a mobilizer for your spine, a gentle twist in your low back, as well as a little bit of gentle movement in the hip joints. 2 more of these, lifting your toes up. So if your toes aren't already lifted, try lifting, that's it. And if your feet can be even wider through the edges, there you go, Shelley, good. That would be ideal. I'm gonna turn down this. In Portuguese, the word for a big hot blast is bafo. It is a bath of heat coming out of the heater, and that was not so good. All right, now slowly come on back to the center and gently bring one knee at a time into your chest till both legs are in, and hold on where it's comfortable, back of thighs or fronts of shins, and rock from side to side. All right. Now take your right foot flat, interlace your hands behind your left thigh or front of or left shin, and stretch your right leg long down the mat. Breathing as you kick through your right heel, squeeze your right buttock and press down through your right calf. And see if even if you need to lift your head. Whoa, I am so crooked. I didn't even realize. Look at your leg and see if your right leg is pushing straight down in line with your hip and if your toes can point towards the ceiling. Then hug the knee of the left leg into your chest until your low back feels flat. Place your right hand now on your left thigh. My fingers of my right hand are turning to the left, and I tuck them under the back of my calf, sandwiching my fingers between calf and thigh. And as I pull the left leg to the right, I press through my right foot, activating my right leg, and use resistance as you go to the right, turning your belly button, your pelvis to the right in a lateral twist. Let your chin roll to the left shoulder. Add resistance so that you pull against your left thigh with your right hand, you push against your right hand with your left thigh. If your left foot hits the floor, that's okay. For some people, even the knee will. For me, no, neither are on the floor. You can, yeah, so let's twist so much that our belly button even rotates to the wall to your right, but only if that degree of twist feels appropriate for your body. So breathing into the resistance. So this becomes a bit of a work. Yeah, so try putting the hands here, Ellie, on that side. And as you pull down on the knee, push the knee up into the hand at the same time. Feel how that activates the hip we're stretching? Yeah, that's it. Marion, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's resistance. The hand is going, and the leg is going against each other. Very good. Breathing. If you can gently rotate your chin from left to right, that can be helpful. Nice work. Yep. How much resistance is comfortable? Take a break from the resistance now, and then go back to it again. You can put a prop under your knee if that helps you, no problem. Back into the resistance, over to that right side goes your left leg. Breathing, deep breath, expand. Yeah, that's it. So that leg comes right across this way, and you use your hand, this hand, on the outer thigh. There you go. And then this one goes straight out to the side. There you go. Gorgeous. That's it. So the leg pushes the hand pushes the leg. Yes. There you go. That's it. So make sure that the arm is winning the race. Yeah, so the arm is the predominant actor. Beautiful, Jerry. And you can even put this hand right up over here and see if this arm wants to reach out that way in principle. Good. Very good, Robin. Lovely. Now slowly, that's it. Michael, good. Come on back to the center. Excellent. And take both knees in circles. So we have knees bent. We take feet flex, squeeze your knees together, and any size butterfly circles. These are the ones where the knees go wide, gently up towards the chest. Now pause and feel your back flatten here. Then move the knees down to the foot of the mat, wide and flatten. Tune in here to the rocking of your pelvis, the natural cat-cow that happens in your spine when you're lying on your back. This too is a cat-cow that you can do even if you have, really pretty intense osteoporosis. You can lie on your back and do this nice massage for the spine and completely fine. Yeah, so switch it up, go the other way. I don't mean to be alarmist. It's just that there are many ways to work the yoga poses in the context of having bone density issues, and it's amazing what you can do. So take heart, okay? Plus the fact that doing the yoga has been really quite clearly demonstrated to help you increase and build your bone density. All right, second side. So left leg extends long down the mat. This is not a passive left leg. This left leg is really working to extend, to pull the toes up to the knee, to pull the kneecap up into the thigh. And you want to feel your left buttock muscle squeezing so it kind of bumps you up off of the mat a little bit, right? So this is not a passive left leg. Now place your left hand on top of your right thigh and see if you can create that same twist now over to the left side. Your right arm, wait, which arm is right? Oh, that one. Right arm, if you wish, can spread open to the right with the palm facing up. Can you activate your left arm, pulling your right knee down and over? Can you push your right thigh up and into your hand? And now breathe into your rib cage, your chest, even your belly. It's a little harder to breathe into the belly with the twist. Notice your neck. Perhaps if you turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder, you may find a little less tension in your neck. Yeah, that's it, Louise. Good. Yeah, exactly. When you twist to the left, your left leg naturally will rotate, and that's completely fine. And I love the action in the leg, so you're not letting that go slack. And there's a little bit of a feeling of that right hip moving away from your armpit. Yeah. So you've got resistance coming down, and your leg is going up, and everybody's working. Yes, exactly, Lisa. Beautiful. Yep, that's it. Exactly. Pulling that hip away from the armpit. Beautiful. Yes. Flexing both feet. Sorry for bad news. Meaning it's not even a relaxing thing for your feet. Good. Exactly. One more deep breath in. Full breath out. And slowly come back to the center. I think we stayed a long time the first time we did this, so take it slowly, and then we'll go back to the back and bend those knees for our Major League Baseballs. What the hell is that? Who's my French? Feet are flat, knees are bent, arms extend down and out like a little manta ray. I mean, I guess it's more like, I don't know what it is. Your arms are reaching down and out at an angle, sort of A-frame shape from the crown of your head to your fingertips. The right foot is planted flat on the sticky mat, and the left knee is quite bent, though the leg itself is relatively relaxed. So your left foot is kind of dangling. Can you flex your left foot? And check to see if holding onto your left knee to circle the leg feels better than circling the leg all by itself without the aid of the hand. For some, it decreases the feeling of sort of strain at the hip joint. And for others, instead of going in a circle, you can put both hands on your knees and simply bring your knees in and out instead of circling. Now, so if today external rotation at the thigh feels uncomfortable, simply rocking your legs front to back is a perfectly nice way to get that hip joint mobilized. Switch the circle direction of your leg. And if you wish, you can start to explore a little bit of straightening through the circling leg. Though for some of us, that just will feel like, what? No way. And for others, it'll be like, ooh, yeah. So a couple breaths here as you check it out, circling your left leg in the first direction, then the second. You can always go back and do a little coda in the first direction if you wish, because we didn't do the straight leg version in that direction. The arms are meant to help stabilize you. And breathe and take your time to slowly flatten your left foot once more. And then again, switching sides here, right hand to right knee if you wish. And again, if you're dealing with a situation in which it doesn't feel good to circle, you simply go front to back, front to back, front to back with your thighs. Yeah. Circling that right knee in the first chosen direction, counterclockwise or clockwise, whichever one you chose is fine. We'll go ahead and sample the straight leg-ish version of this if you wish. So again, that's completely up to you. For some, it feels good, and for others, really, it's a bit much at this point in the class. Breathing into your right leg circles. It might even mean you tilt side to side like we just did in our twist. That might come into it. Then slow it down and pause to go the other way. Once again, option for the hand on the knee. Particularly if you're feeling a lot of clunking, if you hear and feel a kind of thunk, 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 that can be a little disquieting. So you might prefer to hold on to your leg. Couple breaths here, switching it up. I realize we're in we have small space around each other today. All right, very good. And slowly come on back to the center. All right. Now from here, where I'd like to go is into a bridge pose. And the block will be handy for it. Before we do the actual hip lift, gently bring both knees into your chest and flex your feet. Wrap your right hand either in front of your right shin or behind your right thigh. Place your left hand on your left thigh on top. As you push left and pull right, you probably remember this one, maybe not with great fondness. You tuck the shoulder blades in and down and press your low back flat. Pushing left and pulling right. See if you can draw the movement, the action, the muscle tension away from your neck and head, and allow it to accrue in your arms, your legs, your core, flattening your back, spreading your toes, flexing your feet. Gently turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Hush. Let the breath flow. This is an isometric, which means you're meant to get a little bit tired. as you push on your left leg, but it doesn't go anywhere, and you pull on your right leg, and it similarly goes nowhere. Now relax your arms and legs. Take a big breath, and bring your knees back into your chest, and we'll set up for the second side where your right hand goes on top of your right side. Your left hand goes behind your left thigh. And then as you push right and pull left, press your low back flat, feeling the work in your legs, in your arms, spreading your toes, but not clenching your teeth. Can you gently turn your head from side to side? Breathing, collarbone broad. Check your knees, are they parallel? Are your feet flexing fully all the way up towards your knees? That's it. Yes, Elizabeth, good. Yep. That's it, exactly. Pushing and pulling at the same time. And relax. All right, one more time, first side. Same deal, left hand on left thigh, right hand pulls right thigh, flex your feet, bring your feet and knees to hip height. Press, pull. Yeah, this is so good for you. I know it's not very fun. Beautiful. Nice. How's your back doing, Pam? Okay, good. Exactly. Crystalline alignment between the knees. That's it. Beautiful. Breathing and relax. Very good. Now take your block between your inner knees, right up high. Yeah, it purposefully left off the fourth one. Yep. I know you're like, wait, hello. Purposefully. Now the block goes way up high between your inner knees. So it's so high up that if you put your palms on your kneecaps, your fingers rest on the block. Once your block is there between your knees, slowly lower your feet using your hands to help you if you need to. Plant your feet, squeeze your block, stretch your arms down the long sides of your mat, and flatten your back. Now squeeze your buttocks and then scoop your belly button down, hug it into the spine. And now slowly lift your hips any amount as you squeeze the block. This is not about an arching spine. This is about a levering up of the hips. Breathing as you squeeze and lift. It's not very exciting, but it's really good for you. And then lower all the way down like a board. So you're not rolling vertebra by vertebra. You're just lowering down. Press your low back flat, squeeze in, and again lift, keeping the vice grip on your block. Squeeze. And lower all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest, holding the thighs as needed. Flex your feet and gently twist from side to side. Block is on its widest axis between the knees, and you're rocking from side to side in the twist. Arms stretch out wide to keep you balanced. All right, beautiful. And slowly come on back to the center. Plant your feet and gently roll to the side and come on up. Now, where I'm going from here is to sit on my mat facing the long edge of my mat. So everyone on this wall here can face into the computer. Ellie and Marion, you could face forward or back. You could face each other, depending on what allows you to see me better. Same over here, you can face in towards me if your mat is perpendicular like that. And yeah, and Katie and Terry, you might want to face the long edge of your mat, so you'll turn 90 degrees. The idea is this. If your wrists don't feel so comfortable when you put your hands like this, for many people, this is not so great on the wrist, then I invite you either on blocks, bolster, or the floor to put your elbows down. Okay, so for some of us, it's going to be way more comfortable to have elbows down. The idea is that we'll be rotating the knees from side to side, but I'm sorry. So either you're up on, you do not have to be on any height. You can keep your blanket under your buttocks if it's comfortable, but the idea is to do a slow rotation. Now, if you're dealing with a situation where external rotation is not good today, what you do is you take your block and you gently rock this way. Yeah, with your squeeze of your block between the knees. This is the version for those of us for whom the inner groin or outer hip is not feeling good when you do the external rotation. This means that it's really a twist, yeah? If you're okay to do the knee movement, the feet are flexed. We're leaning back. Yeah, exactly. Shoo. Exactly. So if the block doesn't feel necessary, then it's a single knee movement both knees moving at the same time. Yes. And some people, for a challenge, this is only if you're feeling like, oh my God, duh, right? Then you can try it this way. So this is kind of a like, whoa kind of thing, which for some is kind of fun. And for others, it's like, oh, no, 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 I'm going back to this. Yeah. No, no, we don't. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one for you to try, with your kids. All right. All right. And now finally, what we'll do is we'll scooch back and come back over onto hands and knees. Now, block between the thighs. Now, hands and knees position, if you are very comfy on your palms, don't need any props under your elbows, great. That's lovely. If you are, like me, someone who finds it pretty helpful to have something so that the wrists are not being extended like that with weight bearing, then that's where you go. Squeezing the block that's between the thighs, you can always pop it down lower and bring it between your knees. For many people, that feels better than having the block up high. I tend to bring the block on its narrow height between the upper thighs. That works for my pelvis a little bit better. If your tops of your feet do not feel good on the floor, you might need to place an object like a blanket roll under the tops of your ankles, like I'm showing here. Okay, so now here I am in my tabletop position, and that's it. You're like, okay, that's super boring. Press your palms or elbows down, lift your head up to fully extend from the shoulder joint to the wrist. If you're on your hands and knees, you're here. Yeah, elbows are slightly bent, fingers spreading wide, index finger mound, thumb mound, baby finger mound, every part of the palm and fingers all spreading down. Then slowly let your hips tilt from side to side, stretching the outer hip. Okay, and come on back to the center. Now, where we go from here is rocking front to back, keeping your spine long, rocking any amount. And as you bring your shoulders forward of your wrists, you may feel that your wrist is getting some workout here, and that's by design. If you're on your forearms, it's more about strengthening the core as you squeeze your block, strengthening your arms and shoulders as you move forward and back. Then start to circle. Admittedly, on forearms, it's a little trickier to circle, especially if you're up on some height. So you can come down onto the mat, circling around. If you're on your palms, this is a wrist strengthener where you feel the weight shifting from hand to hand, inner and outer. Switch it up and go the other way. We call these earthquake circles. All right. Very good. Now, from here, we'll move into heel of hand lifts. For some of us, it's going to be easier if you're sitting because the weight on your hands is not going to feel appropriate. What we want is either in hands and knee position or sitting or even kneeling is to plant your palms flat, spread your 10 fingers, and lift and lower the heels of your hands. And I'll show it on a block here. It looks like this. I'm lifting the fleshy part of my palm up, even though my fingers are flat on the floor. So the heel of the hand is lifting. If you're on hands and knees, it looks like this. The thumb is lifting too. So if you're comfortable on your knees like this, you can weight the hands by bringing your shoulders forward. For many of us, that extra weight is superfluous or even excessive and uncomfortable. You can alternate, absolutely, and you can even sit back and work like this. Exactly, you're flat right up to the pads of the fingers, the part of the finger that's right at the base of the finger. That part stays on the floor. The entire thumb lifts. Yeah, that's it. And see if you can even keep this part of the hand on the blanket. That's it, Charlotte, exactly. So it feels like you're barely lifting anything. Anybody feeling tired in the forearms? Excellent. All right, maybe two more. Strain and pain is not what we're going for. Fatigue is okay. Woo. All right, and gently shake, shake, shake. Coming to a comfortable sit. All right, now last but not least, I'm going to stop saying that. Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. My hands are really tired. Anybody's hands tired? Yeah, right? Now, finally, shake, shake, shake. I very gently, I keep saying, I bring the backs of my hands together. Notice my shoulders are shrugging, my elbows are up. Okay, ha, elbows gently stretch out. And if the backs of my hands can touch, they touch, but do not need to. And yeah, and if you're more comfortable up on your knees, you're fine here. In principle, where I go is to the point where the backs of my hands are together. I spread my fingers wide and interdigitate them. So my fingers are threaded into each other. And then finally, if you wish, you can try swinging your wrists. Yeah. So this is a glorified way of taking your hand into this kind of a stretch. Yeah. It's also one of those things, right? All right, couple more. Excellent. All right, and gently shake. Now, last one for this thing. I can't get away from that paradigm. Palms together, elbows wide, any seated position or kneeling or even standing. And with your forearms parallel to the floor, your shoulders down your back, how much can you tilt your fingers and palms? Notice the elbows, they want to move, but actually what we want is the elbows to stay absolutely still and only tilt the hands, which for me means when I try to bring my fingers towards my left elbow, they don't go very far. The wrist also, that's right, it is the wrist. It's the whole palm and the wrist, but not the forearm. A little tricky, right? Nice. Notice your shrug. All right, and then take a break. Yep, very good. So we don't work the hands as much as we should, nor do we work the feet as much as we should. So let's come on up to standing very slowly. Oh, I lied. We have one more thing to do before we get up. Sorry for bad news. Yep. Take your 2 blocks, one to either side of your mat. My goodness, how could I have forgotten that? Open up your blanket. This is my blanket. I'm taking my blanket to the middle of my mat and spreading it out so that I can rest my chest and my hips on the blanket. Okay. If when you lie down like this, you think, oh, yikes, my feet don't feel very good, you might take your other blanket, your bolster, or even your blocks and put that underneath the tops of your feet. So here's me with something under my ankles to give my feet a way to prevent cramping in the arches as well as discomfort in the toe joints. Feet and legs hips distance apart. I'm not a huge fan of feet together in Bhujangasana Cobra, but if you feel better with your legs together, you certainly can bring them to that position. Now, press your pubic bone down, squeeze your buttocks. And as you let your head either float or rest your forehead or chin on the mat, pull your elbows right back to your side ribs and let your hands rest lightly on the mat next to your shoulders. Pubic bone pressing, keep the belly lifted, and see if you can float your head any amount. Now, I'd much rather have you float your head just the slightest bit, hardly at all, than float it a lot and feel like you're overworking. Then slowly lift your left leg up, head is floating, if it's floatable for you, and lower the left leg down. Then the right leg reaches up, long leg, and down. Or left leg up. Breathing. You can always put your head down when you need to, especially if you're dealing with neck or shoulder tension that's exacerbated by this action. Pubic bone pressing. See if you can use the muscles in your spine, along your spine, to lift your head. And now slowly lower both legs down. Press your pubic bone down and float your head. Float both legs up any amount, low Shalabhasana. And then reach your arms down to the long sides of your mat, palms facing your thighs. Press pubic bone, squeeze belly in and up, pull shoulder blades away from your ears. Rotate your inner thighs to the ceiling to pigeon toe your thighs. Press your pubic bone down and lift your chest. Use the extensor muscles along your spine less than your buttocks. Can you keep the belly lengthening? Draw the navel in and up. Lift the chest. When you're ready, lower down, stack your palms, bend your knees, flex your feet, and softly rock your shins from side to side. Breathing. Now we can repeat any of those movements, including the one where you don't actually lift your head or your legs. You can simply have your hands next to your shoulders, elbows into the ribs, press your pubic bone, squeeze your belly button up, and that's it. Then you relax. And you do it again. Pubic bone press, squeeze the buttocks, let the shoulders gently rise off the mat, but the head stays grounded, and relax. You can stay there with that, moving in and out. But if you're okay with the idea, you can grab your blocks with your two hands. Breathe as you hug your elbows into your side ribs. And as you slowly lift up into Shalabhasana, pubic bone pressing, lifting legs and chest, your arms stretch out wide, and then pull in and release down. Pubic bone pressing, squeeze the buttocks, reaching out, pull in and down. Two more times. Pubic bone press is always the first, last, and always action, and down. And one more time. Pubic bone press, option to lift and reach the arms wide. Hold. Draw your blocks back behind you, and then you can even try to tap them over your buttocks. Tap, 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 tap. Pubic bone press and squeeze the buttocks, and chin soft. Back of neck is long, gazing down your nose or even closing your eyes. Breathing. The lower you need to go is fine. When you're ready, 7,000 more taps. Pubic bone pressing. And down you come, release, and out you come. Blah, beautiful. Circle those shins. So this is a flexed foot movement where my legs gently fold over to the right, heels then go to the buttocks, fold to the left, and toes move down to the foot of my mat. So it's a big wide circle. Then switch it up and go the other way. Belly breath. All right. Super gently, I roll to the side of the body. Pull the knees up to the chest and use my hands to push my spine up with a vertical, nice, long, straight spine. Yes. All right. Now, for Adho Mukha Svanasana, for some of us, downward facing dog is a pose that we do on our elbows. For others, it's a pose we do on our hands. I am obsessed with the block between the thighs, so I am going into a version where my palms are together, my elbows are under my shoulders, and my block is between the thighs, squeezing. If you prefer, you can, of course, have your palms wide, elbows slightly bent, spread through the fingers, and work your downward dog this way. In either of those two positions, you can tuck your toes under and try to hover your knees just about an inch or so, squeezing, and then come back down. Squeezing and hovering, the spine stays long, the neck is neutral, and we come back down. This is super strengthening for all the muscles that attach to your pelvis, as well as your spine, as well as your shoulder girdle. So it's a real multi-part engagement exercise. Now, finally, if you think this whole turbo dog thing, which is where the knees are lifted and lowered, is driving you to distraction, you may decide to lift your hips any amount. But if your elbows are on the floor, keep your shoulders right over your elbows. Let your head extend in front of your elbows, but neutral neck, and let your knees be as bent as they need to be. For some, it's nice to lift and lower the heels, particularly if you're squeezing a block. It would be a double heel lift and lower. And if you prefer, take away your block and work into your, what we call walking the dog, which is where one heel goes down. Double check if you are in the forearm or Pincha Mayurasana position, some people call it dolphin. Double check that you're letting your shoulders stay right above your elbows. This is a variation where we're not pushing the shoulders back. Beautifully, so that's it. So wall version, Adho Mukha Svanasana, palms on the wall. I walk my feet back, and I can even reach one heel back at a time, stretching the calf, or simply bend and straighten the knee. Letting the feet be the distance from the wall that works for you. The primary focus of wall downward dog, as in floor downward dog, is the length you create between your elbows and your hips. the stretch through the sides of the spine. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Yep. Couple breaths in your downward dog, taking any variations you need. That's it, Jerry. Good. Spread the fingers. Beautiful, Robin. That's it, Terry. Making sure that the weight is even through your palms. Beautiful, Charlotte. Yeah. Squeezing the block. Nice. Michael, can you scrub your hands towards each other as if you're trying to crumple the sticky mat between your hands? That's it, Sherry. Beautiful. Nice long spine. Yep, that's it, Louise. Yep, keeping those toes turned straight ahead. Press through the fingers, scrub the hands towards each other, long spine, gorgeous. One or two more breaths in your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Aliza, very nice, long spine. Turn your head side to side, relax your jaw, and gorgeous. Yes. And now super slowly, either come down to child's pose or walk your hands towards your feet towards your hands and take a break leaning against the wall. So here's me in child's pose. For some, that doesn't feel so great, so you might even do this, where you walk your hands up the wall, rest your chest and forehead, and breathe. It's a small consolation for the lack of child's pose, but nonetheless can be nice. All right. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Big breath into your back ribs, expand the back ribs. And then as you breathe out, pull the belly in. And again, breathe into your back lungs, back ribs. And then as you breathe out, pull the belly in and up. One more time, big breath into your back ribs. And now as you exhale, pull the belly in and up. Sploosh out the air. Ha. And then super gently, slowly creep your way up to standing. Really take your time, however, in the path you take to standing. I'd like to take the time, even though it's irksome, to deal with the whole strap situation and make a loop. So if anybody needs a strap, please just raise your hand. Happy to run one over to you. Anybody need a strap? Okay. Great. So we'll make a loop in the strap. Always an interesting job. I think Chip does a very good, do you need one? Chip does a very good job of explaining how to make a loop. It's something that I'm still working on. If you have any trouble making a loop, my favorite thing to do is to simply trade with you. Here you go. That one already has a loop because, there you go. Voila. So if your strap is proving to be intransigent, frustrating, irritating, I will trade with you. Okay, so once you have your loop, teeth down. And you enter the okay, teeth down. So if your buckle has teeth, they go down. The slot. And you come up and then down. And then you... Okay. There you go. Yeah, right? Nope, yeah, without a label, you're rudderless. All right. Hold your loop, put your right thumb inside the loop of your strap. And then use your left hand to hold the tail. The buckle, we want to be facing the ceiling. So you're holding the loop in your right hand and your thumb, your left hand holds the strap. That means you can put this on your left thigh. Okay, so your left thigh gets the strap and it's way up at the top of the thigh. Almost Jane Fonda. Except we don't go whoop, we just go around. What's that? Oh, whoop. 1982, I think everybody was wearing, yeah, never mind. Nice. So the idea is that you can reach your right arm all the way around your right side and hold on to the tail of your strap, wrapping your the strap around your right hand. Okay, so this is the arm that holds the strap. There you go. Exactly. Perfect. That's it. You got it. Shelley, exactly. face off. Should we do a trade-off? Yeah, that one is super irritating. So this goes on your left side, just like that. You're welcome. Yeah, oh no, this one is just a pain in the rear. Yeah. We don't like that strap. That one is purgatory strap. All right, so we're facing the long edge of your mat, which means everyone on this side of the room faces in, everyone on that side of the room faces in, and everyone who has a mat that's not perpendicular to the wall gets to choose where they face, but it will be the long edge of your mat. So you guys can either face Dunkin' Donuts or the studio hallway. The idea here is that with your feet and legs, you're comfortable wide distance apart, though I would adjure you to go as wide as you can. Wide as you can, what does that mean? No strain in the inner thigh, outer groin. The right hand wraps around. Now, if there's any discomfort in externally rotating your legs, you simply turn both feet so that you're much more in almost a warrior one position. Yeah. So anybody for whom external rotation is uncomfortable, turn your back foot the same way. Everybody else, what we'll do is turn your right foot in slightly and turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Okay, so we are in a triangle pose position here, where your right hand pulls your strap against your left buttock. You bend your left knee and put your left hand to the inner left thigh. As you pull your right leg to straight, you stand up tall. Now, again, anyone dealing with external rotation discomfort, lift and shift your right foot to the right, and you can still do the same pose. It'll look much more like warrior one. Here's me doing the pose this one, okay? So Virabhadrasana, or Trikonasana from Virabhadrasana 2. Pull your strap against your left buttock, look down at your left knee and see that your left knee is going right over your toes. Slide your left hand over your left leg and float it just above. Now your left arm, if it fell right down, it would land on your left thigh. Yeah, so it's right above the thigh. Now open your chest to the right, look right over your right shoulder, but turn your belly button the opposite direction. Your belly button goes to the left, your chin opens to the right. Turn your collarbone to parallel the long edge of your mat as you sink into your left heel. Exactly. Yep. Not do it. So what I would do instead is be here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, is that working better for you? Very good. Okay, breathing. All right, now straighten out that left leg and bring that left hand down. Very good. All right, so what I'm going to do is slowly turn both feet, so heels in, toes out. Let your strap fall down. Yeah, exactly. Now bring the palms together and start to shift from right to left. That's it. Check your knee. Did your left knee go over your left toes, your right knee go over your right toes? And can you slowly lower a little bit more? Do you need to turn your toes more forward? Totally fine if you need to. Yep. All right, and straighten up. And one more time, bend and straighten up. Yep, so some of you may be here, bend and straighten up, and some of you may be here, bend and straighten up. Excellent. One more time, bend. Bring the arms out to the side. Wide. Look left, push the palm left. Look right, push the palm right. Sink into the heels and straighten all the way up. Toe heel, toe heel, toe heel. Very good. Now, take off your strap and widen out your loop. Okay, so the loop is now about shoulders width apart. When my hands push out into the loop, it's about shoulders distance. Okay, I'm going to have that option to bring the arms behind me here. So if you prefer an interlace, you may be here. Totally fine. I like this just because it feels a little easier on my shoulder joints. Okay, so keeping the strap around your neck if you're going to use it, grab your block. Now, if you're not a block person, I'll ignore my suggestion that you grab your block. Facing the clock wall or facing whichever wall you wish to face. If you're irritated with me, you can face away. That might suit you. The idea is this. Now, hands on hips. We squeeze the block. We bend the knees slightly. And we look down to parallel your feet. So you're facing the short edge of your mat now. Yeah, yeah. And so you can even face me, Marion, because you'll face the short edge of your mat. There you go. Yep, perfect. Now, peek and check to see that all 10 toes are spreading. Hands on your hips, slightly bend your knees. Lift your spine. Then take your arms and squeeze the shoulder blades together, bring your arms behind you. So this would be an interlace if you were an interlacer. If you're not an interlacer, you might put your strap around your hands, squeeze your shoulder blades. I like to put the strap around my wrist, press my fists into the strap, and keep those fists engaged as I squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing, sink into the heel, scoop the belly, collarbone broad, draw the chest forward, sink into the heel. Now pull your hips back, scoop your belly, tuck your tailbone, and sink into the heels. Shoulder blades squeeze, arms back. Pull your feet back, look down, see the tops of your feet. Your knees go back so far that you can see the tops of your arches. Sink a little bit. Now tuck your tailbone, lift your chest, and squeeze back. Sink down. Low back pain is a signal that we come back up, bending those knees, straightening those knees, bending the knees, pull the knees back, scoop the tailbone, lift the chest. One more time, sink. Are we ever going to be done? Tuck the tailbone, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. Excellent. One more breath. Two more breaths. That's cheating. And straighten up. Oh, anybody feel that in their legs? Use the shoulders, take a breath. Didn't feel it in the legs? Don't worry, it's going to get worse. Okay, high lunge. So this is meant to be gentle. The blocks can either be one under each shoulder or one stacked upon the other. Okay, so I've either got this position here, lightly resting the heels of my hands on the two blocks, or one block under each shoulder. Okay, I'll show it from the front just so it's a little bit easier to see. So I lightly press my hands, bring my feet parallel, and slowly, with a bent knee and my hips pointing straight forward, which is different than the heel back and down, I'm in a double lunge position like this. Okay? In principle, gradually, I work into my high lunge position. So here it is from the side. Blocks inside right foot, back foot long, upper body leaning forward, which is why it's fundamentally different for those of us dealing with compression in the lumbar area. Right thumb to the right hip crease, squeeze the left buttock. If it's easy for you to put one block under your left hand and hook your right thumb in the front of the right hip, I'll turn and show. We're here. Squeezing the left buttock, pull the sticky mat back with your left foot, lengthen through the crown of your head, and bring your right knee over your ankle. Now, if the twist is in the cards for you, put your right palm on your right side, keep your left buttock squeezing, and turn your chest any amount to the right. Breathing, twisting towards your front knee. For some, it'll help a lot to turn your chin down and look left as you slowly pull your right elbow up and open the right arm towards the ceiling. You do not need to lift that right arm. You can keep it on the thigh or even on your block. Breathing. If it's easy for you, you can circle your right wrist, looking left. Breathe. Circle the wrist the other way, sink into the right heel for more intensity, sink deeper into the right and pull left with your left foot, pull to the back of your mat. Slowly bring your right hand back to your right thigh, step forward, and we'll switch sides. Taking your time. Some people even go from this, they go whoop. And if you want to have fun, you can do it again, and you can do it again. But you do not need to do the crazy jumping maneuvers. You slowly, carefully craft your position where your hips are square. The back heel is lifted and the back toes and knee are pointing straight forward. So there is no external rotation, exactly, Louise, in that back leg. Bending into your front heel where the left leg is forward and the right leg is back. Is that correct? Press into your left heel. Allow your hands to lighten up on your blocks as best you can. Squeeze your right buttock and pull the sticky mat back with your right leg. Beautiful. That's it. Shelly and Lisa, very nice. That's it, Sarah. Exactly. Now, upper body comes down. If you're comfortable putting your right hand or forearm on your blocks, you can even put your forearm on your two stack blocks, but let it be light because that's not a very stable position, right? By design, those two blocks are not to be really pressed into. Open your chest and turn to the left any amount. but pull back with your right foot so your right buttock is squeezed. You can come down as low as you wish, and if you wish to lift your left elbow, you can even reach your left arm ceilingward, but I often look down and to the right, even though my torso is twisting left, my upper body is opening to that left side. My head looks right. Breathing, circling the wrist one way and then the other. Nice work. Squeeze the buttocks. Beautiful, Shelly. Long spine. Marion, that looks great. Nice work with the knee. Allie, excellent. Slowly come on down and step forward onto that tired left leg. Woo, shoulder rolls. Okay, now this one is meant to engage and strengthen the muscles at the back of the hip, which can get tight and locked and cause discomfort because they can pinch the sciatic nerve. So believe it or not, this one is a pose that's meant to help with sciatica. See if this works. If it doesn't work for you, Louise, we do a different version, okay? That goes for everybody. There are many ways to do this. I'll show you one, and then we can give you options. Here's the idea. Your two blocks, once again, are either tall and stacked, which means it gives you a little support, but you can't, right? You can't put a lot of weight on it because it'll fall over. That's perfect because we don't want to put a lot of weight on it. So you may be here if your hamstrings are long and rubbery, or you may be here if your hamstrings aren't quite so rubbery. I'll show the non-rubbery version. Legs are together, lightweight on my block. So at any point I could do this. Okay, I'll turn a little bit to this side so you can see. Now I bring my back foot back, the left leg back, stomp into my right heel, and slowly, notice the back leg is not like this. That's neutral. That's Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3 position, heel to the ceiling, toes to the floor. This is pull the heel in slightly and use these muscles, engage those muscles, bring blood flow. It's flexed-ish. Yeah. So my left foot, it's not Ardha Chandrasana, exactly. So it's Virabhadrasana 3, but with the back leg externally rotated. So that means my hips are still facing the floor. Hips are facing down and forward. My back leg goes back, but before I lift it, I slightly turn it out. So I'll show it this way. Yeah. So I'm in a flat back position. I turn my back leg out, and then I slowly lift it. External rotation doesn't need to be a lot. The feeling of action right in here, check to see if it feels okay, and then we'll modify as needed. You can keep the toes and knee pointing down if the external rotation feels inappropriate. Louise, I think that's good with the blocks down. Keep the front knee bent, beautiful Shelly, and see if you can keep the weight in the heel of your front leg. That's it, exactly. Charlotte, very good. Make sure the weight on your blocks is minimal. Bend the standing leg knee. Slowly lift and lower the back leg 2 or 3 times, and then switch sides. Yep, you can come all the way to the ground. It's tiring. Yes, I would. Yep, you feel it right there. That's perfect. That's exactly where you want to feel it. Louise, how you doing? Switch sides, exactly. So as you do this, you'll be lifting and lowering that leg. It'll be a subtle feeling. The glutes and the external rotators are pretty strong muscles. So you may feel like, huh? What? This is kind of lame. Not feeling much. No problem. You can always hold in the lift and begin to balance, keeping the external rotation. You can work the balance if it feels appropriate to you. Louise, how you doing? Good. Feel the glute and don't overdo. That's it. Cecile, good. Straighten that knee even more. Nice. And really send your foot into Dunkin' Donuts. Nice. That's it, Michael. Yes, Elizabeth, a little more sternum forward, best you can, bending that left knee a little bit more for me. Yeah, to lengthen the spine. That's it, Eliza. Beautiful. Keep that right hip crease pulling back. Charlotte, that is gorgeous. Yes. Nice, Katie. You got it. That's it. Terry, good. Straighten that right knee, Terry, for me even more. Nice work. Yes, 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 yes. There you go, Jerry. Very good. There you go. That's it, Ellie. Once you've done both sides, take a break. Very good. All right. Now, Prasarita Padottanasana. Turn to face the short or the long edge of your mat. Blocks tall or one under each shoulder. Take a moment here. Now, for some of us, Prasarita Padottanasana with a nice flat back where you spread your toes, you can pull your feet towards each other to activate the inner thigh, inner groin, even feel your core. Then push your feet away from each other to feel the action differently, perhaps in the hamstrings, buttocks a little bit more, creates a little bit more of a natural curve in the spine. Then pull your feet towards each other and push them away. Your feet don't really move much. The bones inside your skin of your feet might pull inward and then push outward, but the actual position of your feet and legs doesn't truly change. Can you feel the difference between those two actions? Medial squeeze towards the midline, lateral push towards the side. Medial, lateral, medial, lateral. So it's as if you're trying to slide your feet towards each other. If you were wearing socks, your feet would go whoop, right together. And then push your feet away. All right, one more time. And then slowly see if your torso would like to either drape into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. The thing that can be nice for many people here is that depending on the height of the blocks, you may find that your torso is comfortable reaching into a downward dog position, but keep a little bit of a reserve bend in your knees. Draw your hips back, elongate through the spine, but neutral your neck. So the chin, the eyes are soft. You're neither tipping your chin way down or lifting it, but extending through the crown of your head. Let your head be like the stalk of a beautiful flower, reaching. That's it. A little more weight back in your heels, Miriam. Nice. That's it. Feel the length in the torso. So this is really about tractioning the spine. Yes, Ellie, gorgeous. Slight tuck of your chin, teeny bit. Yes. That's it, Lisa. Breathing into it. You're doing okay, your back and shoulders? Yep. Straightening those knees any amount to feel the hamstrings. That's it, Shelly. Weight back in the heels a teeny bit more for me. Good. That's it, Sherry. Good. Lifting. Nope, you're perfect. That's good. Very good, Louise. Beautiful. That's it, and kneecaps up. Nice, Pam. How's your back? Sternum lift, chin down for me. Yeah. Ah, Cecile, good. Sternum forward, even a teeny bit more. Nice, gorgeous. Now let the head soften and lengthen. Beautiful. That was a good adjustment. Nice, Michael. Beautiful. Lengthen the spine. Action through the balls of the feet. Yes, Eliza, good. Bring your left armpit to the floor slightly. Standing right on your mat. How did I do that? Very beautiful. Forward folding if it works for you. Nice, Katie. That's it. Yes, Jerry and Robin. Good. That's it, Elizabeth. Now slowly flat back and slowly find your way up. All right, very good. Slowly down to hands and knees. Now, this one is a stretch for the inner thigh and the inner groin. I'll show it on hands and knees, but it certainly might be forearms and knees for you. The idea is this, and I'll show it from both sides. Blanket under your knees. There's no reason for uncomfortable knees, so please take a blanket if you need to. From tabletop, I slowly telescope my left leg out and slide my foot any amount towards my head. Now, here is a key movement, and I'll do this on both sides so you can see. I rotate my toes and my knee to the sky. Bending the knee here can be very helpful. From here, I gently rock forward and back. If it doesn't feel good on your knee, instead of going back with the buttocks, you can come down with the elbows. For some of us, if you bring your upper body forward and down, you start to increase the stretch underneath your left thigh. And for others, it'll actually feel good to sink back also and really stretch the underneath side of the left thigh. I do like to keep that left knee a little bit soft, and sometimes I need to pad my heel. Yeah, a blanket under the heel can make a big difference. So, or a folded mat. Hands and knees position, left leg out to the left. Bring the foot towards the place where your hands or elbows are, no more towards your head, and turn your toes and knee to the ceiling. Then you can either sink your buttocks back or bring your upper body forward, or both. From the front, it looks like this. The leg is extended. the torso long. You don't need to do a lot for many of us here, especially as you want to keep the knee a little bit soft, keep the leg a little bit active, and try to rotate the knee and toes to the ceiling. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes it's nice to have that. Here you go. Breathing. Yes, exactly, Pam. That's it. The seal. Even more external rotation, dropping your left buttock bone. Yeah, do you feel the difference there? It's huge, right? That's it, Michael. Not into knee. No knee pain is the rule. Very good. Louise, you're doing great. You're doing okay here. And it's okay for this to soften. And sometimes I might even put something under here so that, yeah, so then there's a little bit more of an ability for you to do a little of that. That's actually helpful for what you're dealing with here. This is that's the knee, yeah. So on the other side, we'll see how that goes. Yes, Shelley, good. Even a little bit, maybe foot forward. Yeah. Oh, it's too slippery. Yeah. There you go. External rotation. That's it. Now, when your buttocks go back, do you feel it a little more in the back of that leg? Okay. That's it, Lisa. Good. How about you? Feel it in the back of that right leg? Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it. Beautiful, Sarah. Yep. Slightly more external. Yeah. Slightly more external. That. You could sit down and stay there if you like. For some people, that feels good. For other people, that would be nuts. Like you'd say no way ever. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. Switching sides. Take your time. Switch sides if you haven't already. Terry, excellent. That's exactly the orientation of the thigh we're looking for. Yes, that's it, Eliza. Yep. Slight bend to your knee, Eliza, just a little bit, so we don't. Yeah, just so we don't let any kind of overwork of the back of the knee there. Yep. There you go. And it's that external. Yeah. You feel it in the back of the thigh there? You might need to lean forward in order to feel it. Also, you can do it like this with instead of your left knee down this way, you can sink into your left heel and work this way. Sometimes you need to add a little extra action to really feel it. Ah, yeah. So this leg would actually be underneath you with your foot flat. And there you go. That's the way. That's it. Feel the difference? And you use your left elbow to keep your left knee over your toes. You're doing that beautifully. Yep. And then you can sink the buttocks. It's okay to lift the heel of the left foot as you settle down. And it's also okay to come onto your forearms too, or hands. Yeah, that's it, Jerry. Good. Yes, Robin, good. Nice. Not overdoing, right? There you go. That's it. Good. A little bit in the back of that leg there. There you go. That's it. Yep. Yeah. You feel a little bit of stretch in the back of the leg? Oh, yeah. That's good. A little bit, tiny bit of a knee bend. There you go. Yep. That's it, Elizabeth. Good. Inner groin feeling an okay stretch there? Yeah. The other side, no. Yep. All right. Slowly come on out. Take a break. This is a gentle come on out situation. All right. Now, for some of you, you already know that if I say, let's do a quadricep stretch, you're going to say, no, I'm not lying on my side. I'm going to stand. Okay. If you're a person who knows already for your body that the best way to stretch the front of the thigh is to stand. If you tend towards cramping in the hamstring, and Michael, please, yeah, grab your chair to do your thing. The knee comes up, grab the foot, then bring the knee down. That can prevent that hamstring when you try to put your foot in your hand. Yeah. So knee up, grab ankle, drop knee. For those of you for whom the standing version feels better, please feel free. We'll do the right leg first. If you are okay with the lying down version and that feels appropriate to you, I'm going to pad my outer hip with a pretty thick blanket, which is actually a mat. I'm going to lie on my left side and allow myself to stand my right hip above my left, bend my knees, bring the right knee to the chest, And keeping the heel relatively close to the buttock, I draw the knee straight down the line of the spine away from my head. So this quadricep stretch, or some of you already know, you put the top leg on the floor in front of you, bend the bottom knee, which in this case now is my left, and pull the bottom heel, left heel, towards the buttock. In either of these lying down cases, as well as in the standing up case, you're pressing your pubic bone forward to take the curve out of your back. Yeah, moving that top knee or bottom knee away from your head to lengthen and open the front of the hip. Beautiful, Mary. You doing okay with the knee there? Good. That's it, Ellie. Exactly. And you might even scoop the tailbone forward for me even more so that the tailbone comes this way, even as the leg goes that way. Yeah. Does that make sense? So you're kind of opposing the movement of the knee. Yes, that's it, Sherry. Feel that in that quad? If you're feeling it at the place where your kneecap joins your thigh, that's your invitation to switch it up. That was a nice adjustment of the hip. And then add some resistance. If it's easy for you, you can push your foot into your hand and simultaneously pull the hand against the foot. You're feeling that a little bit in here? Beautiful. And you're doing a nice job of taking the curve out of your low back, Lisa, which is great. Yes, exactly. Feeling that in here? And now take some of the curve out of your back by bringing your abdominals back this. Yeah, that's it. Do you feel that what I'm doing? So now your tailbone is moving towards Louise and your leg is moving in the opposite direction. Yep, you can flip over or do the bottom leg, whichever way you prefer. And you can actually do both on both sides. By doing top and bottom, you're getting both legs. Yeah, oh, 100%. As you wish. Yes. Now, any amount, if this knee can move away from your head and you can lengthen through the spine, move your head backwards towards Shelly behind you, that, feel that a little bit differently. So we're looking for length in the spine. Yeah, exactly. And a little bit of this, unless that feels bad. Excellent. So that's actually creating more space for you. Breathe into the belly. There you go. You're doing okay? Right. Keep that belly breath going. There you go. Good. Yeah, switching legs. Yep. All right. If you haven't switched legs, take your time. Switcheroo. Beautiful, Anne. Yeah. There you go. Quadricep stretching is a underrated maneuver. It can be so incredibly helpful in rebalancing your pelvis and therefore supporting the alignment and balance of your back. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to get quite enough sometimes, isn't it? So really tuck the tailbone forward against which the knee goes back and really use that resistance as you wish. Beautiful. Yep, that's it, Michael. Nice even pelvis. Yeah, that's it, Elizabeth. Tuck the tailbone. Yes, that's it, Robin. Tuck the tailbone. Yep, that's it, Jerry. Beautiful. Nice working of the fibers there by rolling the hip down. Excellent. Feeling that here, Terry? Great. That's it. Katie, how's that feel on that left thigh? Okay. All right, no knee pain? In here. Good. Yep, that's yeah, tight, right? Okay, tight is fine. We just breathe into it. Yes, Elisa, gorgeous. Hey, yeah, beautiful. All right, take your time, slowly find your way back to the center. Now, if you would like to take legs up the wall, please do feel free. You can either scooch to the wall or eschew the wall and take legs up the imaginary wall. Now, for some of us, one block or bolster or blanket, or maybe nothing under the sacrum is a nice way to elevate the hips. If you prefer a different version of your deep relaxation, might not look like this, that is completely fine. If you have a longer torso and or love to do back bending, you may find you want two flat blocks under the sacrum. This is pretty intense for some bodies, so it's not like, oh yeah, everybody have fun, two blocks. it might be something you would try if one block feels a little bit meh. So please feel free. The question becomes, is it actually comfortable? And does it allow you to relax? Some Shavasana positions are absolutely right in line with what your body needs, and others may not be. So check it out. And if you find that position A is not your cup of tea, pour it out, get the other pot. Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be great? The tea trolley will be coming through. Maybe we'll have pashtesh nata with it. Those little egg custard tarts, you know? It's all about the food. And now let your body soften into itself. Let your skin ease against the surface below. And the surface below against the surface below, right down into your bone marrow. You have no tension that you're gripping and holding to knowledgeably. And then you breathe to let even the unconscious tension also melt away. Now, if you have a little extra time this morning, please feel free to stay right where you are. If it's better for you to move on with your day, you might start to gently deconstruct your resting pose. If your legs are up the wall, you might slowly bend your knees. If your legs are on an actual wall, you might gently fold the knees to the chest and roll to the side. Otherwise, you may choose to come right back down onto your back, flattening your back, bending your knees. And take a moment to choose whether you roll onto your right side or your left, if either. And pause there for a moment on the side body, letting your legs drape against each other. Your bones settle in the soft tissues around them. And finding your way to a seat if there's one that feels comfortable. And sometimes we discover that it doesn't feel that great, so we lie right back down, and that's fine. Letting your hands come to rest on your thighs or knees, or wherever they're comfortable, so that your upper arm bone hangs gently straight down from your shoulder. The elbows are soft and the eyes are soft. The chest is lifted. The spine is long. Allow the breath to flow. Take a nice full breath in through nose or mouth or both. And let it out with a sigh. 2 more like that at your own pace. I'd like to try something we haven't done in a long time, which is an om. Now, please feel free. You might just say, no, I don't do om. You can just listen. That's totally fine. But the idea is to do 3 at your own pace. So we start by taking a big breath in, then we go into the first om. Then at your own pace, you take your second breath in, then you do your om, and then the third breath in and om. So you may be out of register with your neighbor, and that's actually great. Okay, so let's start. And you can always just listen quietly and breathe and just check it out. You do not need to do this if you feel like, oh my gosh, no, thank you. All right, so we'll start with a big inhale and an exhale before we inhale for om. Then we'll inhale for om. Oh. Thank you. That's what we call a rolling om. That camp song we sang when I was in day camp growing up. Rolling home, rolling home. Thank you all. I love the rolling om because it has that sort of almost Tallis Scholars like feeling, right? Even though it's absolutely nothing like Tallis Scholars. Anybody else love the Tallis Scholars? I love the Tallis Scholars. Tallis Scholars, yeah, Tallis Scholars. They're an English group that sings polyphony. Is it called polyphony? Yeah, it's so beautiful. Lots of Renaissance and medieval, and they weave and weave and weave, and oh my goodness, it's just exquisite. And they often have a show in St. Paul's Church at the exactly, yeah, for the acoustic. Tallis, yeah, so wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, absolutely. I sit there with my eyes closed the whole time. But they are based in England. Yeah. I'm not sure. Cambridge, Oxford.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome, Maureen. Thank you. Debbie, great to see you.
Anne, I had to come late. Can I write you for, I know you were doing a lot of sitting in the beginning. Can I write to get recorded it?
Absolutely. I managed to record it. I'd be delighted to send it to you.
Thank you. I'll email you. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Did you have a good trip?
I did. It was so
Great.
wonderful.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye, Debbie. Be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Vicki. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.